Good day, this is Ray. Today is Saturday, April 13th, 2024 for me. Another day of learning and growing. Hope that you, your family, friends, and loved ones are doing well, staying safe. So hopefully I can make this video fairly quickly. It is 6:14 a.m. and go and pick up my groceries generally on Saturdays at 7 when I can, when I'm up to it. And went ahead and ordered my groceries last night and was able to secure those for this morning. I've been budgeting now for almost 3 years. It'll be 3 years next month. And when I started on this journey, June 2020, I identified that I had $115,000 and $41.89 of consumer debt alone. So the one thing that keeps me going, that keeps me focused and energized, is reading personal finance articles, books on personal finance, books on budgeting. At least a few minutes out of the week I will spend reading these things because I've put budgeting into practice. Like I said, next month it'll be three years that I've been budgeting, and it's made a huge difference in my life. I would have never thought that I'd be able to pay off $60,000 worth of consumer debt in a little bit over 3 years. Matter of fact, actually it's been almost 4 years that I've been able to pay off $60,000 worth of consumer debt. But the thing about that is I have to stick to the plan. And so one of the articles I came across this week is an article from Credit Karma, which you probably see the ads about, checking your credit score and things. But they have a pretty good website when it comes to the resources and articles and things. And so I'm going to put a link in the description below to this article. It's called How to Save Money, 40 Plus Key Ways for 2024. And even though it says for 2024, I think this can apply to any time. So if you're watching this video much later, I will say a lot of these things I already put into practice. So I'm gonna read the first 22 ways, and maybe I'll split this up into 2 different videos. I'm not sure yet. But first, create a budget. Second, track your spending. Third, make a detailed budgeting plans. 4, try envelope budgeting. 5, use a budgeting app. 6, carpool to work or school. 7, audit your subscriptions. 8, switch to a cheaper phone plan. 9, lower your utility bills. 10, consider canceling your gym membership. 11, plan your groceries. 12, use coupons. 13, take advantage of seasonal sales. 14, designate no spend days. 15, use the 30-day rule for large purchases. 16, try a 24-hour rule for smaller purchases. 17, build an emergency fund, which I've talked about a lot. 18, create a savings and account for retirement. 19, use a high yield savings account. 20, automate savings transfers. 21, consider investment accounts. And 22, refinance your mortgage. I just want to hit on a couple of these, not all of them. But of course, number 1, create a budget. The type of budget I use is a zero-based budget. So basically, every dollar I earn, generally 2 to 3 paychecks a month, mostly 2 paychecks a month, I allocate that money to whatever is supposed to work towards. So some of the money goes to my mortgage, some of my money goes to HOA, some goes to food, some goes to gas, some goes to the electricity, medications, doctor's appointments, and other types of spending, internet, some subscriptions, not many, and I've been in that habit for 3 years. It takes discipline. It takes doing it each month, building that budget, making sure that I'm accounting for every dime that I spend, which leads into number 2, track your spending. I look back and I say, I wish I would have learned these things when I was in my 20s. It didn't happen. I didn't learn it in my 30s. I learned it in my 40s. And because of this, if I, prayerfully that my health is good enough, I'm able to continue on and just be able to work and to be able to plan for retirement. That's what this is all about. I'm fortunate that I am a homeowner. So this is an asset that I have, and I want to pay this off as soon as possible and not have to worry about that debt. I can use it as I want. So yeah, track your spending. Number 2, make detailed budgeting plans. Yeah, so I guess one of the harder things for me over the past few years is trying to rebuild my emergency fund. And I had to really, I had some setbacks. I had to come up with a plan to be able to replenish that emergency fund. And fortunately, I was able to do that. So that's, one of the things that you could do. If you were building an emergency fund, maybe set aside $50 a week and put that into a savings account to be able to build it. But you have to have a plan and you have to stick to it. If not, you're just going to be, it'd be easy to go backwards and to really, just kind of hurt yourself and make you want to give up on trying to master budgeting and master your finances. So try envelope budgeting, which I kind of will tie 4 and 5 together. Try envelope budgeting. Use a budgeting app. I use a budgeting app called YNAB. And it stands for You Need a Budget. And it is based off of the budgeting system, envelope system. So for example, you have an envelope where you put money in for your electric bill, an envelope for your phone bill, an envelope for car payment, an envelope for savings, an envelope for other purchases. With this particular app, it's built that way. So that if you're setting aside money for a subscription that you pay once a year, you put a couple of dollars, or you allocate a couple of dollars towards that one particular envelope, and or you set aside money for your car payment. And it's not actually separating the money out within your bank account, but it's giving you a visual representation of how much money you have in your account towards that particular item, mortgage, HOA, whatever it is. So envelope budgeting app, I suggest YNAB, a great investment, about $100 a year, is well worth it. Saved me tons of money. Car pull to work or school. That's a great way to save money. Audio subscriptions. I don't have a lot of subscriptions. I've got the budgeting app. I do have Sling TV, and I have Amazon Prime, and that's basically it. The less subscriptions you have, the more money you're going to be able to save. Switch to a cheaper phone plan. I've had my phone plan for years. I was grandfathered into a very good plan. So right now I'm not shopping around, but if I need to, if I want to, I'd be happy to do that. I'm not beholden to one phone company. It just so happens that when I had signed up for this years ago, that this is still the best plan that the company has. So there's that. Lower your utility bills. I keep my thermostat set at probably 65. When it's colder, I'll raise it to 70, at the highest, and I won't keep it on. So my utility bills are fairly low. I keep most of my lights off, and I really don't have a problem there. But that's definitely something you want to consider, is to lower your utility bills. Consider canceling your gym membership. So you got a lot of resources out there. You can work out from home. You got YouTube tutorials that you can watch. If you swim, I don't. You go swim at a community pool. You can join an amateur sports league. There's a lot of things you can do that doesn't require money, and I'm all about that. Plan your groceries. Like I said, I'm going out in a few minutes to go pick up my groceries. And the one good thing about not going into the store for me, the two good things, is that with my health issues, walking around for a long period of time, just kind of browsing, not the best of my joints. And the other thing is that there's no impulse buying. That's one problem I used to have, is I go into the store, have a list, but then I see something, I was like, oh, I forgot, I need that, I want that. That doesn't happen to me anymore. I pretty much stick to the same list. Now that I'm building recipes and things like that, my list is getting a little bit longer, and I'm trying to better meal plan. So generally, I'm not spending a lot more than what I have, but I have increased my food budget a little bit because I have received a raise, and I want to eat healthier, and that's it. But plan groceries out, use coupons. That goes without saying. Take advantage of seasonal sales. As a matter of fact, I just got this shirt on the cheap, and I have set aside some money for clothes, but it's not a lot, and you won't see me buying a lot of clothes. I'll be preparing to go out of town, and I looked at my wardrobe, and it's like, okay, maybe I want to update my wardrobe just a little bit. I'm looking a little bit dated. Nice shirt. Okay, designate no spend days. Most days are no spend days for me, where I don't spend any money because I budget, and I stick to that budget. There's no impulse buys or anything like that. Use the 30-day rule for large purchases. 30-day rule for me is more like a 6-month rule. I could start saving up for something and say, well, I'm looking at this laptop because I edit a lot of videos. It takes me a long time to edit videos, and computer's a little bit slower, and I could budget and set aside that money and just keep setting it aside, and finally get to the point where I can afford it. And it's like, I don't really need it. I'm fine with this, and so I have enough money to be able to buy a laptop. But I don't do it because I give myself the time to really think about that purchase. And then there's a 24-hour rule for smaller purchases. Before you buy something, if you think about it, give yourself 24 hours before you make that purchase. And generally, 24 hours, you can be like, I don't need that thing. I already have it at home. People end up having a lot of duplicates of things when, if they just sit down and think about it, they could avoid that purchase. And for me, I've been getting rid of a lot of stuff, and it's like, I didn't use that thing for over 3 years, so why do I have it? Get rid of it. So 30-day rule, 24-hour rule. 30-day rule for larger purchases, 24-hour rule for smaller purchases. Build an emergency fund. I talked about that at length. Make sure you have an emergency fund, so it helps you not go backwards in your debt journey. And if and when an emergency happens, you have the money set aside so that you can use that money as opposed to getting a loan or using your credit card to be able to cover that emergency. I mean, you can use a credit card to pay for the expense of that emergency, but then ultimately you're going to pay that credit card back right away so that you're not accruing interest on that card. I created a savings account for retirement. I'm fortunate that I have a 401k and a pension at work. And right now I'm contributing about as least as I can to it, because I'm focused on paying off this consumer debt and paying off my home. But anyway, I do have that. Automate savings transfers. I don't utilize that, but that's a good idea to, especially if you're at a point where you're beyond debt and, you're getting your paychecks, and you could just automate having funds transferred to your savings account each month. I would say definitely do that. Consider investments account. I can't really speak on that. I'm not in that stage of my journey. 22, refinance your mortgage. So right now it's probably a horrible time to refinance your mortgage because the interest rates are so high. As a matter of fact, I was able to get my mortgage for 3.25%. I was fortunate to have that. And there are people who have lower than that. That's great. So refinancing for me would make sense. And I still have quite a bit of ways of to go paying off my mortgage. I think last I checked, I paid off maybe 9.2% of my entire mortgage. So like I said, I'm going to link this article before I finish. So it does mention avoid eating out, which is something I've gotten great at. I hardly ever eat out. I haven't been to a restaurant in years. Buy generic use public transportation, check your insurance rates, ask for discounts, unsubscribe from marketing emails, save your tax refunds. So this is a great article. I encourage you to read about personal finance. And if you have started the journey of budgeting and becoming consumer debt free, there's no better time than the present. Next month is a big month for me. It is my 3-year anniversary for budgeting, but it's also my 5-year lupus diagnosis anniversary, which is something I'm going to talk about. All right, so this video is going a little bit longer than I anticipated, but hopefully you got something out of this. If you made it this far, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. And when I post my videos, you can find me at youtube.com/@lupuslifestyle. As always, thank you for watching. Hope you all take care.